Welcome to Brainetainment, your hub for everything smart and insightful. Brainetainment is devoted to exploring fascinating topics and providing you with educational content that sparks your curiosity. Today, we dive deep into a topic that affects us all: genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. First, we must understand what GMOs are. GMO stands for genetically modified organisms. These are living organisms whose genetic material has been artificially manipulated in a laboratory through genetic engineering. This science creates combinations of plant, animal, bacteria, and virus genes that do not occur in nature or through traditional crossbreeding methods. The origin of GMOs dates back to the early 1970s, when scientists first started experimenting with genetic engineering. The aim was to create crops that were more resistant to diseases, pests, and harsh environmental conditions such as droughts or frosts. The drive behind this innovation was to increase agricultural productivity, reduce dependency on chemical pesticides, and ultimately to feed a rapidly growing global population. As we speak, GMOs have become a ubiquitous part of our global food supply. In fact, it's estimated that up to 80% of processed foods in supermarkets contain genetically modified ingredients. Mainstream crops like corn, soybeans, and cotton are now predominantly genetically modified. Aside from our food supply, GMOs have also found their way into the medical field, where they are used to produce insulin, human growth hormones, and vaccines. The pervasiveness of GMOs is undeniable, and it's critical to understand their impact. Now that we understand what GMOs are, let's explore the benefits they bring. GMOs have numerous advantages, and here are some of the key ones. Let's dive into the first major benefit of genetically modified organisms, or GMOs: increased yield. This is a significant advantage in our world, where the population is growing at a rapid pace. More people means more mouths to feed. GMOs can help us meet this demand by producing more food on the same amount of land. For instance, Bt cotton, a genetically modified crop, has been shown to increase yield by up to 50% in some regions. Next, let's talk about the improved nutritional content that GMOs can offer. This is especially important in regions where malnutrition is prevalent. Golden rice, for example, is a genetically modified rice variety that's been fortified with vitamin A. This simple modification has the potential to combat vitamin A deficiency, which affects millions of children worldwide and can lead to blindness and even death. The third major advantage of GMOs is their resistance to pests and extreme weather conditions. This can result in less reliance on chemical pesticides, which are harmful to the environment and to human health. Bt corn, for example, is engineered to produce a protein that's toxic to certain pests, reducing the need for chemical pesticides. GMOs can also be designed to withstand extreme weather conditions such as droughts or floods, making them invaluable in the face of climate change. For instance, researchers have developed a variety of wheat that can thrive in dry conditions, potentially safeguarding our food supply in areas prone to drought. These are just a few of the many potential benefits that GMOs can bring to the table. They hold the promise of feeding our growing population, improving our health, and protecting our environment. But like any powerful tool, they must be used responsibly. While these benefits are substantial, it's crucial to consider the potential downsides. While GMOs have their advantages, they also carry potential risks and drawbacks. Let's delve into some of these downsides, starting with potential health risks. Some studies suggest that genetically modified foods may pose long-term health risks. For instance, alterations in a plant's genetic structure could inadvertently increase its allergenic properties, potentially causing allergic reactions in individuals who were not previously allergic to the non-GMO variant of the plant. Moreover, there's a concern that the heavy use of pesticides and herbicides, often necessary with certain types of GMO crops, might lead to the development of superweeds and superbugs. These are strains of pests and weeds that have evolved to resist traditional methods of control, making them harder to manage and potentially threatening crop yields. Next, we move to the environmental impact. GMOs can affect biodiversity, particularly when genetically modified crops cross-pollinate with wild plants. This can result in the creation of hybrid plants that could outcompete native species, upsetting delicate ecosystems. A prime example of this is the case of genetically modified canola in Canada. The modified canola plants have spread beyond their intended fields, crossbreeding with wild canola and creating hybrids that are resistant to herbicides. This situation has led to concerns about the long-term effects on native plant populations and the broader ecosystem. Finally, let's consider the ethical considerations surrounding the use of GMOs. Some argue that tampering with nature at such a fundamental level is ethically wrong. Others voice concerns about the consolidation of power in the hands of a few large biotech companies that control the GMO seed market, potentially leading to monocultures and a lack of agricultural diversity. These concerns, along with others, contribute to the ongoing debate surrounding the use of GMOs. It's crucial to remember that while GMOs have the potential to solve significant challenges, they also carry potential risks that we must consider carefully. As you can see, the issue of GMOs is not black and white. There are considerable uncertainties. GMOs are a relatively new technology in the grand scheme of things, and there's still much we don't know. As we delve into the world of genetically modified organisms, it's crucial to remember that science, by its very nature, is a process of discovery and understanding. Let's start with one of the most pressing concerns: the potential long-term health effects of consuming GMOs. While numerous studies have declared GMOs safe for consumption, these studies often focus on short-term effects, leaving us in the dark about the potential long-term impacts. Could there be subtle effects on our health that only manifest after years or even generations of consumption? The truth is, we simply don't know yet. Next, we move on to biodiversity. Genetic diversity is a key aspect of healthy ecosystems, providing resilience against diseases and environmental changes. But how does the widespread cultivation of genetically identical crops impact this diversity? There's a concern that it could lead to a decrease in biodiversity, making our food systems more vulnerable to pests, diseases, and climate change. Again, the long-term impacts are uncertain. Finally, we have to address the elephant in the room: the lack of comprehensive studies on GMOs. While there have been many studies conducted, they often focus on specific aspects of GMOs, such as their potential to increase crop yields or resist pests. What we need are comprehensive studies that take into account the full range of potential impacts, from health and environmental effects to socio-economic implications. In the absence of such comprehensive studies, it's difficult to draw definitive conclusions about the overall benefits or risks of GMOs. And this is exactly what makes the GMO debate so complex and contentious. We must remember that uncertainty doesn't necessarily mean danger. It simply means we need to tread cautiously, ask critical questions, and continue to seek answers through rigorous scientific research. So where does this leave us in the GMO debate? Well, with more questions than answers, it seems, but isn't that the very essence of scientific inquiry, seeking the truth no matter how complex or elusive it may be? The GMO debate is complex, with valid points on both sides. Indeed, as we've explored, genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, aren't a simple black and white issue. They carry with them a bouquet of benefits and a handful of concerns, all of which deserve our attention. On the plus side, GMOs have proven to be a boon in addressing food security. By tweaking the genetic makeup of crops, scientists have managed to increase yields, enhance nutritional content, and bolster resistance to pests and diseases. These advances have the potential to feed our ever-expanding global population and combat malnutrition in impoverished regions. Yet, there's also a flip side to this coin. The use of GMOs has raised environmental and health concerns. Altered genes could potentially escape into the wild, disrupting ecosystems and leading to unforeseen consequences. Additionally, the long-term effects of consuming GMOs on human health are still not fully understood, sparking worries among many. Then there's the grey area, the uncertain aspects of GMOs that we're still trying to comprehend. The world of science is ever evolving, and the jury is still out on many aspects of GMOs. These uncertainties underline the need for ongoing research and dialogue to navigate the GMO labyrinth. In the midst of this intricate debate, it's crucial to remember that GMOs, like any technology, are tools. Their value lies not in their existence, but in how we choose to use them. As we continue to grapple with the complexities of GMOs, it's essential to keep the conversation going, to ask questions, to challenge assumptions, and to strive for a balanced and informed perspective. As we wrap up, let's remember that knowledge is power. The more we learn, the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions about GMOs and their place in our world. Thank you for joining us on Braintainment. Remember to subscribe for more content that makes you think. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.